Hey guys, this is Chris, and I'm doing a video response to Boogie2988. He did a video the other day, just kind of rambling about the internet and how much of a miracle it is. And I just kind of wanted to chime in with my point of view because I grew up, I'm 27 right now. I grew up at the age where I saw the internet come into being. I was part of like that age group that got like its hands on the internet. I had dial up, I had AOL, I had to wait for the yellow man to walk up, and I had to wait for the guy to say you've got mail before I could do anything. And my first like real experiences on the internet were in chat rooms, especially on AOL. Like that was probably like the biggest part of it, where you go in and people would always write stuff like ASL, like age, sex, location, and it just blows my mind how much the internet has evolved and changed over time since then. I remember going on like wrestling forums like all the time. I remember going on cartoon themed forums. I remember the old like AOL themed, like they had a little AOL themed sites. They weren't quite websites. They were AOL like builds of things, and you just clicked on them, and you would go into like different subsites of those sites, and it was just crazy. But I just remember like around the time that I got the internet was also part of the time that I was entering high school. And high school was horrendous for me. I hated it. I got picked on. You guys know the story. I didn't get picked on a lot. I mean, I got picked on enough where it made me feel like I didn't belong. I didn't really have any really close friends in high school. And the only way I really survived those years and like found some form of like entertainment and social interaction was on the internet. Most of my friends were on the internet. I had friends in real life, but honestly, most of my time was spent on the internet. I even had an internet girlfriend. I'm not afraid to admit that. I had an internet best friend. I had an internet like best female friend. I had people that like were like big brothers to me. I remember there was a website run by, well, it was a website run by a guy named Jeff Harris, who also ran a forum called CNX, and it was all about cartoons. And it had a bunch of different sub forums where there was stuff about video games and things about politics. And at the time, I was really into politics and video games and cartoons. So I would go there and I would like discuss and argue for hours. And I admit that sometimes I was probably a troll, but I didn't know any better. And it was just like awesome to have like people I could look forward to talking to every single day, people that actually cared about me, because I wasn't getting that in the real world. And I think that's why things like SOPA and PIPA really bother me, because it's going to change the way the internet works. It's going to take away a lot of the freedoms that we have to be able to go online and connect with people the way that we can connect. Like Reddit didn't exist when I had the internet, like most memes didn't exist when I had the internet when it first came into being. And seeing those things being birthed is amazing. And if something like Super or Pippa gets passed, it's gonna kill those babies, in a sense. And I'm not making this video to even really talk about that. I just wanted to make that talking point. But ultimately, I just wanted to say that the internet is amazing and it could change some people's lives and make it better. I mean, I could tell you so many stories about my time on the internet. It will probably blow your mind how nerdy and weird they are. I'll give you one right now. I spent a lot, a lot of my time doing email wrestling. Now, if you don't know what that is, it was a role-playing thing where you could either pick a wrestler that existed in the real world. I usually pick The Undertaker, I like that kind of stuff, or Shawn Michaels, or I would create my own wrestler, right? And then you would go and you would write these, basically these epilogues and these like setups. So you have your character come down, to the ring. You play his theme music, you play all his actions out, and then you send it out. And then that email will be seen by everybody in the Federation. Everybody will read them. Some of them had it where the president was the only person that could make the decision on who won the matches, and others had it where the people who were in the Federation could vote on who wrote the stronger role play. And I remember like that was my life. I would write these long epilogues like for days. I would have them planned out, and then I would like push it at the last minute before the deadline. And I would always get really mad if I lost my match, or get really excited if I won. And then I would join other federations where I knew I had an advantage because I was a stronger writer back then. And it's just blows my mind that I don't even do stuff like that anymore, because that's all I did. I was the world champion of several federations. And it's just amazing to think about that kind of stuff. I don't know how old some of you guys are, but if you're like 27, do you, any of you, or if you were into wrestling at the time, do any of you remember role playing federations? Am I just crazy making this up? Because nobody talks about it anymore, and I'm just curious. Anyway, yeah. So like, there's so much that the internet can provide in terms of like social interaction and allowing you to feel connected to other people that you otherwise wouldn't. You know, again, I had friends, I had a girlfriend online, as nerdy as that sounds, and that kept me, you know, from being depressed and feeling like nobody cared, because I knew that out there on the interwebs, somebody cared about me. There was so much entertainment to be had. There was something to look forward to. I was there when Napster got started. You know, I admittedly one of the original probably internet pirates. You know, I was on there, you know, getting whatever I wanted for free, and I didn't really feel bad about it because there was nobody telling me it was wrong. You know, and you know, all these restrictions come in, and Napster gets shut down, which I would argue to say that Napster getting shut down was the worst thing to happen to the record industry, because they weren't smart about it. Recording industry, they weren't smart about it. They should have joined in and said, "Oh, people are downloading. Let's jump in and make this something that we can monetize." Instead, they fought it, and when they fought it, people got mad. And when they got mad, they were like, "You know what? Screw you. Now I'm gonna find a smarter way to share music for free." And that's why things are going down the way they are now. If they would have adapted, they'd be okay. But again, that's just a lesson that they needed to learn. Ultimately, I just wanted to say that the internet, the way it is now, is the way it was intended to be. Any changes made only make people become smarter with the way that they do things, and ultimately will hurt the infrastructures that fight against it. So you need to adapt and roll with it. If you're already part of it, then hello, sir, hello, ma'am. I'm so glad that we're connected to this. If you're not a part of it, I wish you luck. That's all I can really do. Thank you. You have a fantastic day. I'm going to go play with my Superman costume that I got for 50 cents at the party store. I was getting the makeup and stuff I needed for my mime video, and I saw this and it was 50 cents, and I was like, 50 cents? Really? Really? I don't have a reason to wear a Superman outfit made for children or play with a kryptonite light up toy. But it's 50 cents.